So he's going to present his first attempt at a long idea, going through the whole trade idea generation process. So after he presents that, we'll go through each stage of his thinking and his process to see how he actually got to that point through each stage of the idea generation process. Then the guys should start to really get and understand how to do this properly.
So just to introduce what I've done so far and how I came up with the idea, I just started the full process from a top point of view, from a macro point of view, as the process describes it. And within machinery, this is where I went to my idea selection.
Give me the main reason why you picked machinery over the others.
The fact they were growing 3 months in a row from a contraction and from a longer historical change, I thought that it might have been an opportunity here, and a breakout of the sector.
So, next question: how many stocks are in your sector that you created?
From memory, I ended up with 230.
230.
Yeah, but there were several.
So the answer anyone's looking for is, okay, so tell me how you created this sector. Well, here's a broader definition of the sector. Here's the broader definition averages. I used these filters to get this broader definition. And then I pulled these out and these out and these out, and I've got my own subsectors. So I'm comparing apples to apples. So then in your analysis, what have you got, 20, 25?
Yeah.
Based on greater than $1 billion.
28.
The conclusion of your process is literally one sentence. You want to know, at the end of your sector process, definitively, what money likes in the sector and what money dislikes in the sector on a relative basis. We've probably discussed this now for like 2 or 3 hours. And what we've been discussing is just the answer to the question, what are the sector averages? And all they are is 6 numbers, and they're fractions. Defining your own sectors is actually extrapolating all the data yourself and using common sense and applying common sense filters. So what we've been going through here is the typical filters that you would use to get to a point where you've created your own sector that totally makes common sense as a representative snapshot of what's happening in the market. So at every stage of the process, the muscle memory of doing it through practice gets them in a position where they can do it with their eyes closed.
And hopefully it's making sense and it's tightening up the stuff they've already seen on the videos and the stuff they're already trying to do themselves. I guess there's always going to be some learning, some trial and error. But they all seem quite enthusiastic and
of course teamwork is essential on everything in life. It's impossible to do or to go alone along the way. It's completely impossible. There's no other way to go, in my opinion, because Tristan and Anton, they also have learned with the support of other colleagues when they were at hedge funds and investment banks. There will be for sure plenty of details that will be missing on the interpretation that we make from the market itself. There's plenty of work to do here. It's hours and hours and hours to get there and to have a clear picture where to bet our money.
I'll do it again.
yeah, cool. It's hard, I think, being mentored without this classroom first, at least the first couple of weeks. You haven't met the guys before. It's hard to explain this stuff over the phone. You can't see the body language, you can't really gauge. Are they responding to it? Are they drowning in it? Are they lost? Are they confused? And with these guys now, I'm pretty confident that day one when we start mentoring, all this stuff will be nailed down. It'll all be correct. Won't need to spend any time going over it, reviewing it, checking it, and just jump straight into the stuff that matters.
Right, so next stage is, which one did you pick and why?
So the market is potentially not pricing in the earnings that we might be seeing in the near term, and potentially we could be early entering a stock that has more growth coming that's currently being paid for by the market. So the reason in this situation we're looking at the option market and seeing what the options are trading at, just because the event, the catalyst, is earnings. It's defined. It's a few weeks away, and with the options, the downside is defined as well. And if you can buy the at the money options at the right price, then in this scenario, it's probably worth owning the options. The risk reward's better.
I want to learn options as an alternative strategy, because I understand that the risk and reward profile is different. It is more sophisticated, but I think that's what exposure to this group gives the opportunity for that, and learning from these people and having colleagues near us, then we can. I'm sure that between us we have enough information to share to help us learn and have a confidence of making that kind of decision.
So although you've been through the process today, and now when you go through it again, but on the short side, it should be easier because all you have to do is apply the same process, same principles, but flip it on its head. They're harder to find. So you need to go digging. And just to close the loop on things as well, the next session is on Monday, so you got 2 days. You need to finish the work on that one and fill in all the gaps. And you need to fill in all the gaps on the analysis there. You need to close the loop on the process. So at least you've been through the process once, fully. Good. So let's go for dinner.
Where are we going?
Spetus. Fine dining Brazilian barbecue.
Sweet.
Great.
Don't worry, they'll have salad.
It was, I would say, essential for anything from my own experience, my own business, and beyond. Process is essential to be able to achieve something first, and today practicing this live from a homework that has been asked, going step by step, being pointed out where I was wrong and why I was wrong. It's just extremely helpful. Now the next step will be to repeat it several times until it becomes easier and faster, and getting that accuracy in very simple things. And now we've been given all what we need.